Hi guys, welcome to another video. We're going to be talking about books. Little updates. I'll do a quick little recap of some updates, but we're mostly going to be talking about books in today's video. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying hydrated. Grab your drinks, get your cozy snacks, get your blankets, and let's settle in and let's tune into today's video. Okay, so I do have my drinks. I have my water. I also have my electrolytes in my really cute ghost cup. This is like one of those Starbucks Halloween cups that came out. I think this is last year. Or no, actually it might have been the year before that. I don't know. It was one of Starbucks Halloween release because I just did my shot for this week. Today is Thursday. It's my weigh-in and my shot day for my GLP-1 that I am on. Let's talk about that really quick because I have some updates with it. And then we'll get into the book stuff. So if you're not interested in talking weight loss or talking like all of that stuff, go ahead and fast forward and we'll get into the books right after. So today is my weigh-in day. This morning I woke up feeling very bloated, which is probably my fault because last night, well not last night, but yesterday we had, my hubby and I went and grabbed tacos at our favorite taco place. And I get 2 tacos with, it has like steak and shrimp. And I get them in the low carb style. So the place makes them with a romaine lettuce wrap, and it has just veggies in it, like tomatoes and onions, and I put some green salsa. I opt out of the chipotle sauce, one because the chipotle sauce, I don't really care for spice, so it probably would give me heartburn, which is the main reason, but also because I think extra sauces in a taco will just add extra calories that I don't want to take. Whenever we go to this taco place, I usually order a bean and cheese burrito to split half and half with my hubby, and we usually have that for dinner. So I did order the bean and cheese burrito, which is probably the culprit of my bloating this morning. So it was a delicious burrito. It was just basic bean and cheese, totally worth the bloating. But yeah, I woke up with bloat and I was like, of course I would wake up feeling like this the day of my weigh-in, but hey, it was my fault. I made the choice. So anyways, did the weigh-in, and I am down 2.5 pounds from last week's weigh-in. Last week's weigh-in, as if you guys remember, that was my period week. So my weight actually went up a pound. So technically, I think I lost 1.5 pounds from 2 weeks ago. And then me being bloated this morning, I think probably I probably could have collected that extra like 5 or 6 ounces to make it a 3-pound loss, because all week on the scale, I was hovering at a certain number, which was in the next number bracket in my weight. And if I would have hit that number this morning, it would have been 3 pounds. So I was like, 5 ounces away from it. So however you want to look at it, I hate counting ounces, but I also like to be like real specific with the weight stuff as I'm like logging it, especially with my doctor. But it is what it is, right? So that was the weigh-in, and then I did my measurements, and my measurements, I lost 1 inch in my bust, my waist, and my hips. So last week's measurements, I think I only lost 1 inch in the waist, maybe the bust, I'm not sure. I think it was the waist though. I think it was like 1/2 inch. And then my hips stayed the same. So seeing the inch loss in the hips, I was very surprised, and I'm happy about that because that means my lower hanging belly is small, like getting smaller. She's slowly starting to shrink, which is the biggest problem area I have, my whole belly area, but like the lower belly, that's the one I want to like shrink up a little bit. So I was happy to see that. I also took photos. So I did take some pictures because I wanted to make a post. I have a closed friends list on my private Instagram account, and I only have people on there that I know are actively doing weight loss themselves. And so I did a closed Instagram story where I posted a before and after photo. I don't think I'm gonna have the guts to do it on my YouTube video. I'm actually probably not. So if you want to be in on the private closed friends list, you're gonna have to friend me on my Instagram account. It's a private account, My Haunted Home. And then you also have to be somebody that I just genuinely trust. And not saying that if you're not on the list, I don't trust you, but this is more like sensitive topic stuff. So if you're like someone I don't know who you are, or you don't have a user pick, or something feels sketch, or my intuition just feels off about you, you're not going to be on that list. So just saying. But anyways, so I have that. I posted that. It was really cool to see the before and after, because when I see that, I could definitely see the changes. The biggest thing was because of today's weight, I am now officially 30 pounds lost. So I can now say it with a lot of confidence, because now it is official, like it's on my weigh-in day. 30 pounds down. So I'm super excited for that. Love it. When I took the shot. So I took the shot this morning after I ate breakfast. I always eat breakfast first, and I run any errands that I have to do. So the biggest errand I had to run today was go to the grocery store. I did that, came home, I made breakfast. That's another thing I do when I take my shot, is I run errands and then I eat breakfast. I always want to have a full stomach and make sure I eat something with a lot of protein so that I can be ready to go for the shot. Because the shot is kind of like, the side effects are, it just changes week by week depending on where I put my injection. So I did do the injection on the right side of my belly last week, and this week I did it on the left side. I seem to have the most success with the belly, even though I do tend to get the headaches from that spot. And then maybe later on, if I see my weight kind of not moving, then I'll go back to the arm. But I kind of like the belly. It's my favorite spot. So, and it's the part of my body that I have the most fat to like grab. My arms too, but my thighs are just, I feel like the thigh is so hard to inject in. I don't know. I don't have as much fat in my thigh. So we're doing the belly today. And so because I did that, I was like, yeah, I want to have a full stomach. I want to make sure I eat my breakfast, and I want to make sure I run my errands so that I am not feeling sick doing the things that I got to do. Have taken the shot. I am drinking my electrolytes to try to bypass any headache. I currently don't feel a headache, because yesterday, even though I ate a burrito yesterday, I was drinking a lot of water. So I was pretty much hydrated going into today. So I did myself a favor, you know? But yeah, so that's all of the updates about the weight loss stuff. So if you are skipping ahead and you happen to catch this, I'm done talking about it. Let's talk books. Okay, so books. I have the ones I'm currently reading. So I am currently reading You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. Geneva Rose is the author that wrote The Perfect Marriage, and it's the one that has like the bloody edging and stuff. I talked about it like a couple of videos back. She's gonna have part 2 of The Perfect Marriage coming out. I think it's in April. So I'm super excited, but I decided I wanted to read another one of her books because I like her writing style. It's super simple and she's kind of funny, and I don't know, I just love it. So this is a thriller. It's like a romance thriller. It's pretty much, I'm like 80% of the way done. I'm almost done with it. I'll do a video where I talk about my thoughts of the book. But if you're looking for a romance thriller, this is a pretty fun one. It's pretty good. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish that today because I really want to start Grady Hendrix's new release, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It's a big book. Like, now that I'm really looking at it, I literally I went over to Barnes & Noble the day that it came out, and I picked it up because, yeah, this thing is huge. It's over 470 pages. 400, this is almost 500 pages. I don't know if I'm going to start this. If I were to finish this book today, maybe I'll start this one tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence because we only have, what, like a week and some days left of January. So maybe that'll give me enough time to read a 500-page book if I'm really good with it. But I'm kind of scared because I don't want to like leave a book hanging when I have other books that I want to get to for February. So, okay, so I also wanted to show you guys my February, kind of my February TBR. I know this is a little early to talk February, but again, I'm kind of prepping myself to get into the flow of like reading a certain amount of books again, because last year I burnt myself out with reading. So I have 4 books on my TBR for February. Again, shit can change. I may not decide to read a certain book. At least 2 of these are for sures. But I wanted to go with a romance, obviously, because February is the essence of like Valentine's Day. Like every time you think of February, I think of Valentine's Day. It's also my birthday month, so I did want to read something that like gives me that feel of Pisces energy, which none of these do. Well, actually one of them does, I will say that. So I may add another book and take one out, but we'll see. I'm also choosing to be very nice to myself, so I did try to pick books that were not ridiculously long. So let's talk about it. The easy book that I chose is a book of poems, and this is called She Followed the Moon Back to Herself by Amanda Lovelace. I love to read poetry every once in a while. I feel like it's just a way for me to get through a book really quickly. Poetry is so inspiring, and it's just a mood for me. So this book is beautiful. It's all pink, and the poems themselves are not that long. So this is one of those books that I know will be a quick, like a quick read. Also poems in February. I just love that. I just love that energy. Next, I have Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This is the Pisces book. It gives me Pisces vibes. It is kind of like undersea horror or like ocean horror, or I don't know. But it is also the book club pick for Barnes & Noble's book club that I'm a part of. I feel like such a dork saying that. But I attend the book club at my Barnes & Noble, and this is the book we are reading for February. So I already had it, and I was so excited that people voted this one because it sounds really, really good. Pretty much it's about women who disappear in the ocean and they come back changed. What is different about them? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So it has like a creepy element to it. It has that ocean horror element that I love, and it's a love story. So I'm excited. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. This one I picked up at Target the other day. It's called The Secret Year by Jennifer Hubbard, and it says a forbidden romance, a secret journal, and an unforgettable love. This is actually a young adult romance, so I haven't read a YA book in a while, but it's very, very small. So I think this will be kind of like again another fun quick read, but pretty much let me read to you a little bit about what it is. So it says, Colt and Julia were secretly together for a year and nobody knew. Not that anyone would suspect Colt and Julia were from 2 different crowds. Julia in her country club world on Black Mountain and Colt down in the flats. They meet in secret by the river. Their chemistry electric, exhilarating, intoxicating, until everything came to a screaming halt. Julia is pronounced dead from a car accident, and suddenly Colt's memories come flooding back. One about the fight they'd had on their last night together. So it's a murder mystery. It's romancy, and it's probably thriller. It is a YA thriller. We'll see if it's good. Sounds good. I wanted to read it. And lastly, I did pick a book by Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas writes very like sexy, I don't know if I would call it, maybe it is smutty. I guess it would be considered smutty, maybe more mild smut. I don't know. But Penelope Douglas wrote, I think it was Birthday Girl that I read. She's wrote quite a few books. So this one's called Credence. This is one of those books that would pop up all the time on like book talks and stuff. I hear it's really good. It's spicy. It sounds really good. I don't know. But it's pretty much like, in a nutshell, it's her parents suddenly pass away, and then she's taken in by her father's step brother. If that make, like, you have to think about it in your head. So her parents passed away, and her dad's step brother takes her in, and the step brother, he lives out in like the wilderness with his 2 sons. And supposedly there's like blurring of the lines there. There's some spicy stuff that happens. I don't know. It sounds really intriguing. So we're going to see what this dirty little book is all about. I know that the books that I picked this time are so out of my typical like horror and thriller taste. But every once in a while, I do want to read a dirty little book. And so I feel like February would be a good time to kind of get that out of my system. And then I'll swing back into the horror stuff after. Okay, I also wanted to show you guys some other books that I have that I picked up along the way. So yesterday, I went to my husband. Like I said, my husband and I had a day date. We went to get tacos, and we also went to the bookstore. And I went to the bookstore because I wanted to get my hands on the limited edition of The Exorcist. Someone posted it in the Facebook group that I'm in, and I had to have it. So it's this gorgeous lime green cover with the creepy little girl. And I just thought this was the perfect copy for The Exorcist. I do not have a copy of Exorcist. When I read it back in like I think I read it in 2019. I was reading a first edition copy that was at the library where I worked at. So obviously I couldn't keep that for myself. It belonged to the library. And I never bought an Exorcist book. So this is my first one. And I love the green. Green is my favorite color. I love the way the spine looks. It just looks really cool. So yeah, definitely into this one. So I think it's perfect. I also picked up The Ring. You know, if you've seen The Ring, you know what I'm talking about. The one where that girl crawls out of the TV. So I bought the book. I don't know how this is, if it's going to be good or not. I've never read it. I was so intrigued by the way the book looks. Just looks so, I don't know. I love when people get creative with their book covers and stuff. So I don't know. We're going to give it a shot. I'm not sure when I'm going to pick this one up to read, but I thought that would be fun. The movie itself is creepy. I'm pretty sure the book is even more creepier. It was translated. So yeah, translated by Robert Balmer and Glenn Wally. So it'll be interesting to see the way the book is written and how it goes. Rouge, this is another one I picked up yesterday. This one I've heard good things about. It kind of gives me like Elizabeth Bathory vibes, but I'm not sure if that's kind of like the full effect of this book. But pretty much it is like going to a spa, and ooh, look at this back cover. Going to a spa, and there's like a special like way to stay young and all that kind of interesting stuff. I don't know, there's more to it, but I don't feel like reading the synopsis. But I love the cover, and I hear good things about it, so we'll see. I also, side note, I hate when books do this. I don't know. I love this though. But I hate when they have like the cover is just a sliver smaller than the inside portion. It's like, why? Why do we do this? Why? I don't know. I can't stand that. So another poetry book. So this one is called Self-Portrait Poems and Essays by Mackenzie Campbell. Love the cover. Definitely got myself some poem books because, like I said, they're fun to read, and I just get into the mood for that every once in a while. So I picked that up. I also was on the Penelope Douglas kick when I bought Credence. So I also bought Punk 57. This book has been on my TBR, like on my list to read list forever. Forever. So I finally picked up a copy because I do want to read this. I think I'm gonna wait until the summertime for this one. And then I also picked up Five Brothers, which is it sounds like it is gonna be such a naughty book. Pretty much it's five brothers and one girl that I think she just kind of like goes through all five of them. That sounds absolutely horrible, but if you're reading it and you're into that kind of stuff, oh my God, like I'm sure it's spicy. So I'm intrigued, I'm curious. We shall see. And then the last one, this has been on my shelf for a while. Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. I feel like this one has trigger warnings, so it's probably a little bit touchy, but I love the way the inside, it's like, it has, oh, I already have a bookmark for it. I have a little mermaid bookmark, but the inside has pictures, and I just love when books do stuff like this. So I don't know, I'm just intrigued. I don't mind reading a book that is, oh, look at this one, the shark. There's a shark. I don't mind reading books with trigger warnings. In fact, those are kind of my favorite because I just like books that are problematic, or they're, you know, they can have some toxic traits to them, or taboo. That's the word I'm looking for. They're a little bit taboo. So I'm pretty sure this is one of those, but I love stuff like that. So I'm probably going to also dive in. This one almost was in my February TBR. I might change my mind and go back to this one if the YA is just too juvenile. The goal this year is just to get through as many books on my bookshelf as possible. I also go through my bookshelves and I just pull books. Like if I have books that have been sitting there for years, and I know I'm just not going to get into them, I will usually take them out and donate them. I have friends that I know would probably want them, or I just take them to the library and do a donation because they're brand new books. I had a lot of fantasy books that I wanted to read, and I just have not had the fantasy. I just haven't felt called to read fantasy, and fantasy is like one of those hit or miss for me. Like I love it when it's done right, but I think I'm more into like the paranormal stuff, like the paranormal fantasy. I don't know. So I haven't gotten into it. I know everybody right now is reading those that dragon series, which I really, really, really wanted to get into. I think I have book one. I think I still have book one somewhere in my shelf. I don't know, maybe one day I'll pull myself to get into it, but it's really hard for me to sit through a fantasy book when I just love horror. Like horror is more my jam. But anyways, my loves, that is today's video. I just wanted to kind of just tap in, give you guys a little bit of an update, talk books. I have some ideas for some videos coming up very, very soon. I am waiting for some deliveries to come in, and then we're going to have our very first ghosty haul video of 2025. So I'm excited to do that. I also have book reviews that I want to do. I have tarot content stuff that I want to do, and obviously continuous updates on the weight loss journey, and just anything that happens in between. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, topic ideas, leave them in the comments below. If you prefer to do it privately, you can always email me or send me a DM on Instagram. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys in my next video very, very soon. Bye, guys.